Welcome back, people. It is episode 22 of season 5 of the Taxi Squad podcast. We got a fair amount to get into today. Before we do any of that, please be sure you follow, like, share, download, and also rate it wherever you get your podcasts. We got some strange and unusual topics today. We got an interview with a ticket company by the name of FlipSeats. Shout out to Matt Zohn. We have some baseball topics as we spin the wheel of death for a new team this week. Stay tuned for that. We got some NFL talk, some NBA playoff review, and the boys go back to the NHL. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. They talk about sports and stupid stuff. They're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back, it's the Taxi Squad, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, he's going to say boats and hose. I was very ready for that. All right, we're ready to go, buddy.
All right. Vince, how you doing? Look at you matching the brim of the hat with the hoodie.
Know, dude. That's exactly what I was going to bring up.
Face is getting slimmer every week.
Listen, guys, like I said, follow the thumbnails to see where the face goes. Hopefully it doesn't get bigger.
Right.
It gets smaller. That's the plan here. Yeah, matched my hoodie with my hat today on purpose. Duh. That was the plan, man. I want to look cool. I'm just going to make it known. I'm happy to be here, man. It is officially nice every day in Chicago. I turned 30 in T-minus 1 week and 1 day from this being posted. So I'm holding on to my 20s.
Wow.
Like by a thread right now.
Wow.
So next time we talk, I'm going to be 30 the next day. So
this is crazy.
But outside of that, Mike, we had a special little episode this weekend. Do the people know about it?
Did. And if you're living under a rock, or maybe you just don't listen to this podcast every week, we had a very special interview with a great organization out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and Olympia, Washington, by the name of Driveline Baseball. We interviewed their Scottsdale hitting coordinator by the name of Elijah Boyer. So if you want to get some fun baseball knowledge, and maybe you're just a baseball guy, we'd highly recommend listening to that interview. It is posted on all platforms. Shout out to Elijah and that whole group. They really rolled out the red carpet.
Yeah, very insightful too. It's like you can listen to us talk about like baseball as a fan sees it. They're on a whole different level where it's like, if we're talking hit speed, I even said like, what was it, launch angle? And he's like, don't like looking at that. He's like, that's not what I look at. I look at something way more accurate. And I'm like, yeah, I see ball go high. I say, good job. Like, that's exactly how I feel when I talk about it. So yeah, he was very insightful, very cool, really cool experience for us to get out there as well.
It really was. Just the amount of technology that goes into figuring out how much power you're putting into the ground and then how that power is transferring into the baseball swing. It's fascinating how much science and leverage goes in to the game. And it's truly a game of inches.
Certainly. So that's what we learned. Slap
fun
hitters for life. Check it out.
Very, very fun things. Check us out. Yeah, Vince, you're going to be 30. You are the last 20-year-old. I mean, this is the last episode of Vince being 20 plus. I mean,
second to last, technically, just so you know.
This is banana grapes.
Yeah, no, it's the daunting chitties are coming at me. Everybody's like, dude, it's the best ever. You're gonna love being 30. I'm like, I feel like I like being in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? Once I'm in my 30s, I'm like, I'm old news, you know? Just an old. I mean,
you're not
old
necessarily.
I'm gonna be an old bag news. Like you, dude. Come on, I can't do that. I don't need old bag.
I mean, hey. I mean, will you start over pronouncing things? Maybe. No. Do you get a couple 2-3 gray hairs? I mean, it's.
I don't think that's a 30 thing. I think that's a you thing. It's just like milkshakes. I'm not gonna be throwing milkshakes.
You get a little milkshake. Don't worry, I'll zell you.
Do we get the
money?
Do we get the reveal this week or what?
What reveal?
The you reveal, dude. You gonna toss that hog out?
No,
come on.
Because I like staying PC on the pod.
Okay,
Richard, Zach, Sorry to disappoint you both. I know you listen every week. It's not happening. Not
All right.
happening.
Hey man, I
It's a
support it.
family podcast. We tell people to let their nieces and nephew listen. Can't be hanging home.
Oh, dude, I
on
will
the
totally
pod.
put like a warning
But
before that.
But speaking of hanging hog, you know who's a big fan of hanging hog with boats and hoes? Not Step Brothers. Stefon Diggs, Vince. So to lead into our strange and unusual topics, Stefon Diggs should be at OTAs right now with the New England Patriots.
Yes.
Most notably, last year, tore his ACL midseason, was having a banging out year for the Texans, goes down. They have a slew of injuries, missed the playoffs. We know how that all worked. Got absolutely destroyed by the Chargers in the playoffs. Now, he is on the Patriots. And most recently, he was seen with none other than the queen herself, Cardi B, at a Knicks playoff game. But that was short-lived. And most notably, I don't know how else you could put this. He gets around, right?
It seems like
he gets around. He likes the sex, you know? So with that, he's on a boat in Florida with a lot of classless ladies as I buried the lead, no pun intended,
alleged bag
of an unknown substance.
Yeah, man. I saw it earlier. I thought he was like a rapper or something because it's like he's making Offset look good. Go back to it, realize that's Stefon Diggs. Oh my God,
that's Stefon Diggs.
He's on said boat, pulls out a fanny pack, which is a wild move, and a girl pulls out a bag of, again, unknown substances. It's of the pink varietal, which was weird because of a substance similar to that you would have not expected to be pink, and then proceeds to tell her, don't finish all of it. So whatever it is, I'm going to err on the side of Himalayan salt, and she was just trying to salt the rim of a drink.
I don't know.
I don't think
that many classless ladies and NFL stars are on a boat in Florida enjoying his time away.
Ooh, margaritas, little pink Himalayan salt. Come on.
I don't think it's margarita salt, Vince. If I had to throw a guess out, it's potentially a salt of the amphetamine varietal.
Sure, yeah.
That one may get if they have a prescription for none other than attention deficit disorder, which could also be abused while consuming alcohol to make you go longer and stronger.
Very politically correct.
Wouldn't know anything about that. Not good for you. You shouldn't do it.
Yeah, you're gonna get heart murmurs. Yeah,
a lot of things wouldn't do that.
Also, maybe he's just friends with Cardi B, and he was just going to the game as friends, man. Like I don't know why you got to assume everybody's dating, dude.
They looked a little bit more civil than friends.
You can't hug your friends, dude?
I mean, Vince, I think they were kissing.
You can't kiss your friends? You can't kiss your boys? You're telling me you don't kiss your boys?
Well, I mean, she's a gal, right? She's a lady. I mean, giving the boys like Tony Soprano. Tony Soprano's big. Give you a hug, give you a smooch on the cheek.
He gave me a smooch on the cheek before. I've never returned a favor. Maybe one of these days I will.
That's a very Italian way of saying hello. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, but it seemed more than that with Cardi B at the Knicks game. They seemed to be, doing dances with no pants.
I mean, I was watching the basketball, so I wasn't really focused on celebrity role. Except for my boy Timmy C, dude. Timmy C's looking like freaking The Matrix the other day. You see that?
Oh, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, Tim Tam.
Tim Tam. Now, back to Stefon Diggs. There has been numerous reports that he is most notably just a man whore. This guy likes to get around.
Okay.
And there's a lot of reports that when he was in Minnesota, he was potentially had a riff with Dalvin Cook. With Lizzo, of all things. I don't know who would want to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
New man on the Minnesota Vikings.
Right. A lot of people speculated that could have been around Stefon Diggs. And God bless him,
Hey, man, I don't judge. Everybody likes a different flavor.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, hey, you like him a little thick or something. So, I mean, God bless him. and now he's on boats. And the real question is, Vince, and this is all speculation. I mean, can the Patriots really enforce anything on him? I mean, they can't fine him.
What can they do, right? Because one, you don't know what it is for certain. They'd have to test him. Don't know how long that would For one, we don't even know if he's doing it. There wasn't even proof that he did it, let alone how long would it be in a system? Can they test him for it? Because isn't this optional anyway? The OTAs are optional.
A lot of them are optional. That's
so maybe
true.
he doesn't even need to be there. Maybe he should because it's a new team. It kind of just seems. I feel like what they're gonna do is have a PR person in there, have Rabel talk to him, hey, cut this shit out. We're not doing that right now.
They addressed it today at the media portion of the Patriots OTA.
Okay.
And Vrabel stated that we don't want any noise. We don't. He knows better than that. We've discussed this, and we will have to talk to him. And we're looking forward to his presence here. So clearly,
if he comes in there and gets 5 catches in his first game, then all's forgotten. He's good at football.
All is forgotten. He's good at football. He just likes boats and hoes.
Yeah, he's up to some nefarious business on a boat. Looking pretty cool. I'll give him that. Looked pretty chill out there. Looks like he was having a good time.
He's a pretty chill guy, Vince. He's a pretty chill guy. I mean, Vince, I think you're on a correct path. A Himalayan sea salt.
Himalayan sea salt margaritas,
he wants
baby.
To be hydrated.
He was going Cosmo and Wanda, dude. He wants to get the green margarita with the pink salt. Look like Timmy Turner or whatever. That's all he was doing.
He's just looking for a burner. You gotta love it.
I'm saying, Timmy Turner.
All right, Vince. There's our strange and unusual topic of the day.
Yeah, buddy.
Now, every week over the past 3 weeks, we have spun the baseball wheel of death.
Correct.
Vince doesn't like Mike calling it the wheel of death.
Because it doesn't make any sense. We're not going to kill people.
I'm not saying we're killing people, Vince. The only thing I'm saying is that if you go back and look at it.
Who's the best team in the league right now?
I know the Tigers. Excluding them, every other team we've reviewed, we've given them the fucking Maloik.
I don't know.
The
Mariners are still 30-23. They're still on top of the division.
And who's chasing them right now? Who's
but the game out? Because the Astros are we're gonna land on the Astros at some point.
I mean, but think about the Athletics. Think about the Athletics. They're in dead last now.
They're the only team that we put the Maloik on. All right.
The Mariners are. I mean, we may have already started to put the Maloik on them. They're only 1 game out of losing the division right now.
Here's the idea, though. We're going to get to every team.
This is true.
So at some point, every team's going to get it. So it all cancels out in the wash. Honestly, if you're any team, you want to be right now. So you can have a cold streak now and then you get hot later in the year. If we get the Astros last 2 weeks of the season, it's a whole different ballgame.
Let's spin the wheel, Vince. Who do we got?
Shall we spin the wheel today? Here we go.
Let's spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. All right, here we go. Where is the share button? Boom.
There he is.
Work. Here we go.
Oh, right. If you're watching this, it's a wheel of every baseball team. Here we go. And of course.
See, this is good. We always wanted it to be them.
F.
We got the Chicago Cubs today. We got the Chicago Cubs. For people listening, you got to tell them what it is,
We got the Chicago Cubs and the Wheel of Death. There's one team that none of us hope to go on a cold streak. I mean, come on. All right. So, if you're paying attention or living under a rock over the past few months, the NL Central is quite a battle at this time. I most notoriously stated prior to the season, look out for the St. Louis Cardinals. And Mike might be onto something because, Vince, the Cardinals right now are 19 of 8 in their last 27 games. So that truly in itself is impressive.
Are they really?
Now the Cubs,
that's just their home record.
That's their home record. They're 6-4 of their last 10. Cubs are 8-2 of their last 10, 17-10 at home.
Yeah, man.
Looking pretty solid right now.
Yeah.
Most notably, just maybe the best offense in all of baseball. They are raking.
They're raking.
And they really just can't seem to be stopped right now. Their bullpen in particular, questionable.
Not very good. Not very good at all.
You're a Cub fan. You better hope that your bullpen starts a little bit early so your team can get to the plate and hit. Now, most notably, P. Crow Armstrong is flying up the MVP voting charts. If you've paid attention, he's gone from 1,000 to 1 to 80 to 1 to now 15 to 1 in the MVP voting nationally, which is truly something to behold. The man just can't be stopped. Offensive prowess is insane. He's almost a 5-tool. So
856 OPS right now with 16 stolen bases. And then if you compare his statistics to Kyle Tucker, they're essentially having similar seasons. They have two guys that are going to be all-stars for sure, and also possibly MVP candidates, two of them. Like, you see Reese McGuire came up. This is a fun anecdote. Reese McGuire comes up, and he gets the number 20 with the Cubs.
Oh, I read this.
Yes, and the last person to wear that was Miles Mastrobuoni. Famously, Reese McGuire got in trouble for being in a Dollar Tree parking lot and playing
Tearing
with
one
himself. Yeah.
Tearing one up.
And now he takes a number from Mastrobuoni. It's 2 on the nose. You shouldn't even allow that to happen. They should have said, no, don't take that number. Take one from like fucking celibate guy or whatever. That's what he should have done.
He should have taken Sosa's number, but that number is most likely going to be retired. But
21?
20, yeah. Mastrobuoni. Oh, man, that's funny. Didn't Reese play for the White Sox for
Yes, he did. He was a White Sox. He was a Met. He was a Blue Jay when he got in trouble, and now he's Cub. He's been all over the place. But yeah, I mean, it's just like you look at their lineup top to bottom. Like, I know Cubs fans want Michael Busch to play really well, but outside of that, like everybody else is a stay in their lineup. Like everybody's raking. You just got to worry about pitching. And obviously Justin Steele goes out at the beginning of the year with a season-ending injury. So their biggest concern right now is just going to be like, can the pitching stick to it, and can our bullpen do stuff? I heard the same thing when someone's like, the Cubs are the best team to watch in the MLB because they will score a shit ton of runs, but the bullpen's going to do something to make the game fun at the end of the game because they're going to give up enough runs where it's, again, a fun game again. So,
well, this is something, if you're the Cubs front office, are you looking at potential options at the deadline to get in some new arms?
Yeah.
Which I think if you're going to make a run into the playoffs, that's definitely something that needs to be considered. But now they bring up Matt Shaw, who most notably didn't make the first day, or he made like the opening day roster in Japan. But they sent him back down after a few weeks, because
he
of
wasn't playing
arbitration
great and all that.
And he wasn't playing great, but now he's back and he's hitting walk-offs. If you watch the game on Tuesday night, that was something that was truly a spectacle. I mean, that game was against the Rockies in the bottom of the 11th, runner on, steal second, pass ball, takes third. Then before you know it, doesn't need to be pretty. Matt Shaw just hits a little duck snort in the right field.
They hit him where they ain't.
Second baseman and the right fielder. And that was the game in a walk-off. So that is actually the second time in about, I think, 10 years where a true rookie third baseman hit a walk-off. And the last one was Chris Bryant at a home game. So
no kidding.
Yeah, that's fun. Cub facts for everybody. Right now, I try and be promising, but you kind of feel like this run can't last forever. They're going to have some ups and downs, some peaks and downs.
I disagree. I believe that they are going to win the division. I don't think they're going to win a World Series because you need pitching for that. But again, like you expect the Brewers to play better. If you're talking about a run that might not last, like the Cardinals are younger than them, and younger teams are more likely to fizzle out. So it's kind of like if anybody's going to fizzle out, it's like they might be. Maybe all of them fizzle out, and then they just end up winning the division. Like, there's just you can't look at an offense like this where Kyle Tucker's actually playing like that. He needs to get signed. They're probably not going to sign him next year, so that's another whole big thing that they can think about. But right now, they're in a pretty good spot.
They are in a good spot, but my entire situation where I believe you're going to start to see what this division will become after the All-Star break. And granted, to your point, you're going to have 2 solidified All-Stars in Kyle Tucker and PCA. That's a no-brainer. Now, the way I view this, if the Cardinals or the Cubs make a move at the deadline to bring in some arms, that is going to be, to me, or even the Brewers, because the Brewers are 6 out. They're never out. They're a 500 team right now. So are the Reds, though.
Yeah, like everybody's pretty much in the middle there. It's just like if I'm taking a lineup in the NL Central, I'm taking the Cubs right now.
That's very true. But you got De La Cruz on the Reds. I mean, I don't know if you see what he's doing, hitting exit velos of 122.
Well, O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah.
You see that he has the 2 hardest hit balls in the MLB. He has 2 of them now. He hits
Too bad he's on the Pirates.
Well, and to the Pirates point too, like this is Cubs fandom in a nutshell. This is Chicago in a nutshell. It's like Paul Skeens is playing really well. They're going to have to trade him because they can't pay him. So they're doing the same thing with like every time the White Sox get somebody good, like when are they going to trade him so they can, get enough back for him? And then Cubs fans are like, oh, we're going to get Paul Skeens. It's like, dude, the Cubs.
You would most likely have to give a PCA to get Paul Skeens.
or like at least 2 or 3 other prospects. And if they get Paul Skeens, they're not going to pay him. They won't even pay Kyle Tucker. Money. Yeah, like you can't do that. So you're going to have to do something else. Now, looking at it positively, Drew Pomeranz has a 0 ERA in 14 games. Daniel Palencia has been a beautiful surprise for them this year with 1.42. Shota Imanaga, 2.92, I believe, if I'm looking at it correctly, 2.82. Like, there's some guys that are pitching well, but you get further down there, you get the Ben Browns, Julian Mayweathers. Those are the guys that go in.
They don't have a closer. And there's another thing. You need a lot of bullpen work. To your point, I don't think the pitching's there. And notoriously in the National League, there's always either the Brewers or the Cardinals. Or in this case, you got to throw in the Reds because any Francona-led team is a problem. Now, you want to hear a funny story?
Sure.
And it has to do with the NL Central.
Okay.
So the other day, I'm on Facebook. I'm scrolling on Facebook.
Old man.
Right. And I'm just like, I got a friend suggestion. Well, and I saw us pop up because of our posting schedule. And I was like, oh, yeah, I like it. And it said friend suggestions. And in the friend suggestions, it says Terry Francona. I can't make this shit up. It was fucking Terry Francona.
Okay.
So I just morbid curiosity. I click in Terry Francona. And I'm like, Terry Francona. Huh. And then I see my mother-in-law is connected with Terry Francona on Facebook. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, wait a minute. Maybe she has friends because he's originally
like wife's Tucson. Mom?
What?
Wife's mom, you're saying?
Yeah. My mother-in-law.
Whoa.
Is connected with it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe she has friends that like knows him. So I saw her over the weekend. I'm like, Les, what's going on? How do you know this guy? And she's like, oh, well, one of my friends knows him. And he said Happy Easter. So I have come to find out that Terry Francona slid in my mother-in-law's DMs. I don't know how I feel about this.
It's okay.
And I want to. No, it's not.
Terry Frank is married, isn't he?
I don't think so.
He also said Happy Easter, dude. If I'm trying to hit on somebody, I'm not like, hey, dude, happy Christian holiday. That's not how I do that.
Bottom line, Terry Francona's on the shit list, all right?
Okay.
He is on the shit list.
I don't know if I'm on the same side there. Happy Easter.
Dude, it's random.
Dude, I really like this girl. I don't know what to say. It's like, why don't you wish her a pagan holiday?
Okay, good idea. Say is, watch it, Francona.
He is
watching you, bro.
He is risen. He wants me. He is risen.
I'm watching you, bro.
Come on,
I'm watching you, bro.
Okay, fair enough. It's your job to be defensive, you know. But
it's not even that. It was just odd. I'm like, wait a minute, Terry Francona.
It is weird.
I was like,
maybe he has a social media manager that just sends Happy Easter to everybody.
I don't know about all that.
The more you know.
I ain't picking up. I don't know, Vince. I don't know.
But yeah, anyway.
Watch, we get Terry Francona on the pod.
Overall take, that would be sick. That would be so sick. 100%. Man. Tell
Legendary.
her to work her magic, dude. Tell her to reply. Come on. Overall takeaways for the Cubs: keep hitting, start pitching.
I still think they're going to fuck it up. All
I
right.
know, but we have to look at
Let's-
it from an unbiased perspective. If they want to win,
Why would we do that?
because we're going to look at every team the same way. What's the best case scenario for them? Keep hitting, start pitching. Same thing with the Mariners. Don't fuck up at the end of the year. Same thing with the Athletics. Get a real ballpark. Same thing with the Tigers. You're the best team in MLB. Keep doing what you're doing.
If you're the Cubs and you know for a fact that Kyle Tucker is not going to resign,
He will if they give him money.
Trade him at the no shit. But I think I hate to say it. I think Jerry Ricketts is a real thing. I don't think Ricketts wants to spend money.
I agree.
I think,
but I
they're in
also
the
don't think they're going to
money-making
trade him
mode.
because the fan
The fan base would lose its fucking
they're gonna
mind.
freak out if they're competing like this, dude. Like they're the second best team in the NL right now. Why would you want to get rid of that?
I understand.
They got him to compete for this year, and if they get rid of him while they're competing for this year, like what is your message?
I just don't understand. If you don't sign this guy by the end of the day, like if you don't sign this guy by the end of the day,
2025 is the year they're going to win.
Season,
that has to be the way they're looking at it, I guess.
It really does. It really does. Has to be the only way. I don't know any other way to put it, but if you miss out on him, he's good as gone. Isn't he a Boris client, if I'm not mistaken?
I believe he is, yes. And that's why he's extremely linked to the Dodgers now, like everybody else is in the world.
Well, if you hear his interviews on local sports radio, he's very just obtuse, and he's just like, yeah, happy to be in Chicago, just like doing my thing.
I think he actually does like Chicago.
Well, who couldn't playing at Wrigley Field every other day or every other game?
And the fandom is aggressive and fun and all of it makes a lot of sense. Just like everybody else likes playing specifically for the North Side, because obviously we know the South Side has its own woes. But I think if they give him a competitive offer, like he'd be just as willing to accept here. They just won't do that. That's the problem.
You don't think they'll give him top tier?
No.
The problem is if you sign him to all that money, then you got to turn around and give PCA a similar contract. Although you have control of him for the next 4 years.
Yeah, after arbitration and all that. But I mean, at that point, you might already get rid of Kyle Tucker if your window's closed. Because that's the thing. You give him 10 years, but you might trade him in 4.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know?
It's going to be interesting to pay attention to this season.
He is 32, though, so
he'll
he'll be 30, 35. Like, he might get a 6 or 7 year contract, but I don't know if he's going to get 10.
Oh God! Do you see how bad the Mets experiment with oh my God, why is his name slipping me?
Juan Soto?
Yeah, with Soto's going right now. He's like hitting 200.
Yeah, we're 50 games in. He's got 10 more years. Like they're fine. The NL East is a gauntlet too, but we'll land on that soon for sure.
White Sox dropped a game to them on Monday. That was fun.
White Sox won the game today against the Mets.
Wow.
9-4. Squad.
Dude, Vargas has been raking.
Oh, also, he has been. But the big thing, too, is we haven't got to them yet. We will, and, fuck their ownership. But the Colorado Rockies right now are on pace to win 27 games this year. Every other team in their division's already won 27 games. The White Sox won 41 last year. The Rockies are on pace to win 27. 41 is the worst season ever, and they're going to lose 13, or they're going to win 13 less games than the Sox did. They're a joke of an organization, and they should sell the team. It's bullshit. I hate it.
So you're saying we're not the worst of all time. All right.
Yeah, but that's not something we should root for anyway. But also, their ownership's trash, too. Get over yourself. Come on.
Well, maybe the Ishbia brothers will just all buy in, right?
We'll see. It's bring it to the White Sox first before the Rockies sell. If the Rockies sell before the White Sox, I'll be pissed. But irregardless, even though it's not a word.
Well, if it doesn't make sense, it'll be the White Sox. So just pay attention.
Fair enough.
All I got. All right. So we're going to do things a little different this time of year. We're going to do a little NFL talk.
Yeah.
We're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to give the people what they want. Yeah. Vince, you most notably have a note in here about Caleb addressing the media.
Yeah.
This lovely afternoon after OTAs.
Yes. Did you see this?
I watched the interview.
It's okay. So The Caleb Williams story came back around. Don't want to go to Chicago. They never had a quarterback. Blah blah blah. His dad, yada yada yada. All that stuff came out again.
To give people,
I'm getting to it.
Some
I'm gonna
background.
Get to it.
All right.
I'm gonna get to it. The whole thing initially in the draft was his dad saying he doesn't want to go to the Bears. He might go to the XFL or the UFL or whatever if they're going to give him money. Like, he's not going to do it. He's pulling an Eli Manning, yada, yada, yada. And we're like, all right, that's his dad just going off. But there was probably some validity to it, something like that. We go into this year, and what was the story that came out? It was like some like editorial or some shit that came out earlier.
So Seth Wickersham,
that's him. Thank you.
NFL journalist, and he's writing a book called The Greatest.
Book,
yeah, it's like a book called The Quarterback or whatever. And basically it's notating the history of the quarterback in the NFL and how it came to be the most, exceptional position in sports and how everybody wants to play that position because it is the most coveted position in all of sports. And if you have one, you're most likely going to win.
Right.
So he wrote this book, and this whole expose came out on the Williams family and how Caleb leading into the draft, as Vince eloquently put it, he was questioning going to the Chicago Bears. A lot of people say they were trying to position and maybe get him to the Vikings because he hit it off with Kevin O'Connell so well.
I believe that.
Caleb ultimately came to the decision on his own that he wanted to be a Chicago Bear and bring the Bears back to relevancy, because if he realized if he could do that, his name will be engraved in stone forever. Even if he's not the greatest quarterback for the Bears organization, even if you throw for 4,000 yards one time, you're in the history book.
Well, that's what he said too. He's like, I went on one visit, and I'm like, yeah, I want to be here. So, like, whatever. I don't, like, everybody's just like, oh, see, I told you. I'm like, I wouldn't blame him, dude.
Well, the Chicago media, man, they're grilling him. It's just like, in this expose that came out, basically, and what's going to be in the book, he was very frustrated with the Bears coaching staff and saying Shane Waldron wasn't teaching him how to watch film. And how that he didn't understand it. And they asked him, they were like, do you know how to watch film? And he was like, yes, I know how to watch film.
No, it's like,
He's
you,
like, I just want to be coached in how to watch film and how to be better at doing my job. And he said, I wasn't feeling as if I had that opportunity.
Why weren't you exceptional outside of the fact that Matt Eberflus didn't do his job and all he did was get his hair cut and play with his cats? Like, what are we doing? It's so, like, I get why. He met all of the people and he's like, these are all idiots. And they all ended up being idiots. And now he's in a situation where there's not idiots anymore. We'd like to think, knock on wood, here we go. But and now he's like, I'm in a better spot. This is going to be better. Yeah, dude. Like, everybody knew this. It's like, why is he supposed to think differently than every single other person on earth?
Well, it wasn't a surprise when you saw the article come out. And I gave Caleb a lot of credit for getting ahead of it before the season starts. So it's not a distraction. The book comes out after game one, I believe, or like 2 games before game one with the Vikings.
Yeah, this is also to sell a book. Why would we talk about a Seth Wickersham book?
Correct. And he goes on.
Yeah.
He goes on his press tour. He goes on Eisen. He goes on The Herd. He goes on all of it. Everybody knew this was a story. So for this to come out again is just more validation of the fact that the Bears organization has never been capable of growing a quarterback, nor has it ever been capable of having an offense that's worth a shit since Jay Cutler most notoriously was on a run with the Bears in the mid-2000s with Martz's offense that looked to be something.
All we're doing right now is reheating last night's pizza.
Pretty much.
We already talked about this, and it's just back around again. It's like, can we just leave the dude alone and just let him fucking play quarterback? Like, what are we doing?
They even asked Ben Johnson. They took it a step further because I watched both interviews.
He was in Detroit.
Well, I know, but they asked him about it now. What are his thoughts? He said, I think it's a wonderful challenge, and I think we're going to prove a lot of people wrong. And I'm like,
because that's what you have to say now.
That's A, what you have to say, and B, I hope it's fuel that pisses them off to say, okay. And I hope Ben Johnson says, all right, bet, as the people would say.
He's going for 5,000 this year.
Gotta go for 10. Gotta be 10,000.
Gotta be 10,000.
Gotta be 10,000. If it's not 10,000, I don't know.
I'm just annoyed that like that was national news. And like obviously NFL Live is going to be like Caleb Williams story, and you're like, shut up. Everybody knew this already happened. It was just like, now this is confirmed. It's like, we already knew that. Like, why would he want to? That's exactly like Cooper Flagg going if he had to go to Washington. It's like, oh, I'm going to be a wizard. I don't really want to be a wizard. No shit. Why would he want to be one?
Yeah. The difference
But he's going to
is he
go
had the
anyway, and he's going to try his best.
Right.
Like, duh. Like, all
But-
of these things happen the way that they're supposed to happen.
Shame on the Bears organization for not just pulling the trigger sooner when you could have had Ben Johnson here last year and started the process fresh from the jump for this kid.
100%.
But of course, we have
if it
to
all
do
works
things
out,
back.
then everything's fine.
If it all works out, then we all eat crow and it's all good. Has that ever been proven before? No. Bears are going to bear. So I'll believe
Chicago's
it when I
gonna
see
Chicago. Let's be for real.
Cautiously optimistic. I'm excited to see what we become. Hopefully, just hopefully, we can have a winning record. Now, you know who most notoriously doesn't know about a lot of things, but potentially just maybe took advantage of her situation to be successful?
Let me guess. Joy Taylor.
I was going to say Oprah, but
Oh.
never mind. Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor's back in the news. Most
She shouldn't be.
notoriously now for being so far wrong that it is comical. So on Speak Up or whatever show she's on now, she was going in on the fact that Aaron Rodgers wasn't at OTAs for the Steelers.
No shit. He's not on the team.
Vince, you want to know what the fucking problem is with that?
He's not on the team.
He's not on the fucking team. So they were going in. How can you not be there? It's the Steelers organization. It's stored. It's OTAs. How could you not be there, Aaron Rodgers? And all these assholes sitting around her are agreeing with her. Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. I couldn't believe it.
Now, I didn't see this. Was it like
You couldn't believe
she
it?
said? Was it like she said like he's not there to like sign a contract?
No, he's not there to be a part of the team.
Right, but so like
This is how little this woman knows.
well, I know, but if everybody else is agreeing with her, then like did she say it in a way that was like if he's gonna join the team, why isn't he there?
No.
Or was it like she
No.
was just
No.
thought that he was on the team already?
She was under the impression he was on the team already.
That's
This is
so
how
annoying.
special this little gal is. Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Hey, she's about as believable as Jason Whitlock actually thinking he had a chance.
It's like
That's the
no,
funniest part.
it's like Kendrick Perkins thinking he's the glue of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, all right, dude. You see that they did a Kendrick Perkins like he went to the stadium and they like thanked him or whatever for what he did for OKC, which was nothing.
I
And
was about to say what the fuck did he do?
the reel that they showed was just the same dunk like 7 times because he only had like one dunk.
He had one dunk
He's
and
the-
7 rebounds.
He's the worst, dude. When they're like, we got to go to Big Perk, I'm like, please don't. He's like, this
Maybe
is one
Big
thing I
Baby-
gotta tell you about. Like, nah. What, Glenn?
Glenn, no. The thing about Perkins is that he's actually more of a coveted piece with the Celtics than he was the Thunder.
Sorta.
Yeah.
It was the Big
Me-
Four plus whoever the fuck had played 5. And that was
Right.
Perk. I thought you were gonna
Yeah.
talk about Glenn Big Baby Davis. I'm like, he's in jail.
I love Big Baby Davis.
He's
Love
in
Big Baby
jail
Davis.
right now.
What did he do?
He tried to what's the term for it? I think it was like racketeering charges technically against like the
No.
the NBA like
That'll do
health.
it. Oh,
the NBA health
the
thing. Remember that
players-
whole thing?
Yeah.
Player
that was like
Association health thing.
insurance fraud or something.
That's what
along
it
those
was.
lines.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Bring
That's
him in.
interesting.
I'm
But
interested to know for his thing.
either way, Joy Taylor, I can't believe, still a part of these allegations and all of these lawsuits that are going to be thrown against her.
Yeah.
She's probably going to be out of a job.
They probably won't do anything until everything comes through before they get
Until
rid of her,
she's
'cause they
out of a
can't.
job. Until
Yeah.
she's out of a job, over under 2 to 3 years, she starts an OnlyFans.
No, she's gonna start a
No shot?
podcast and everybody's gonna watch it,
She already has a podcast.
and everybody watches it.
For what reason?
They want her to talk about it.
Oh,
She doesn't need to
okay.
start. She's way too popular at this point to start an OnlyFans. I don't think she's ever gonna do that. But if that podcast falls off, or once he gets to
she-
that point, then maybe. But I don't think so, Mike.
You just kind of want to see him, right? Just like one time.
I think you do.
Well, you don't?
I'll look.
Liar. Liar.
I'll look. I'll look.
Pants on fire.
Come
All
on
right.
now. I'll look.
Well, either way, I thought that was quite comical that she's going in. She's like, this team
Yeah.
doesn't have a quarterback and you drafted a rookie. And yeah, you got Rudolph there and all this good stuff. What's even more comical about all this is that like Rudolph was in the news. Okay. Like
What do you do? Fucking guide Santa's sleigh. Oh,
what's his name? Jason Rudolph. He's
Mason.
He's Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, he
There it
got
is.
domed
Mason
by Miles
Rudolph.
Garrett. Yeah.
Yeah, got almost
Most
murdered by
famously.
Miles Garrett.
Most
But he
famously.
most recently had an interview saying, have you spoke to Aaron Rodgers, local media? He's like, no, I plan on
He's a
being
starter.
starting
They're
quarterback,
starting him.
being a piece here and working my way up. So this was in the news like the same week she dropped this whole thing.
Mason Dolph is going to be the starter of the Steelers. That's even more crazy than the whole Joy Taylor thing, is that they're going to start the season with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback.
You know what? Somehow Tomlin will will them into a playoff berth because that's what he does.
Probably. Good defense.
We'll see. Their schedule seems light. If you've been living under a rock, we've kind of gone over the schedule release, and we had some interesting guests, actually, didn't we, Vince?
Some would say so. So you guys are like, hey, why are they doing NFL now? Well, let me tell you why we're doing it. Because we have a very fun interview that's coming up right here with Matt Zohn from FlipSeats. We talk about Crosstown Classic. We talk about the NFL season, the schedule release, the announcement of the release for the schedule release. And he has a lot of very, very cool information about most popular stadiums, who plays where, what fan base moves the most often, and some other cool anecdotes. So we talked to him for a bit. After this, we'll go over the NBA and the NHL, but enjoy this interview with Matt Zohn. Welcome back to the interview portion of today's episode. We would like to introduce Matt Zohn, Chief Product Officer of FlipSeats. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks, gentlemen. It's great to be here. Looking forward to the chat.
Yeah, I think I would assume that the majority of our listeners don't know what FlipSeats is. So the easiest way to start this is, who are you guys and what do you guys do?
Yeah, so it's a really great application that my team and I created. We are huge sports fans like you guys and like your listeners. Many of us have season tickets, and it's really a challenging experience to sell your tickets. You either are sort of stuck in the Ticketmaster ecosystem or whoever the primary ticket the holder ecosystem is, and you're selling to just a small portion of the market. When most consumers, you have your favorite app, whether it's StubHub or SeatGeek or TickPick on your app, and that's sort of where you go. Not a lot of people are shopping. So FlipSeats solved this pretty unique problem where we're able to help season ticket holders sell like professional brokers do. So you decide to list your tickets, you go into the application, you say, I want to list these, you can price them yourselves, or you can use our professional pricers, and it broadcasts those seats to the entire marketplace. So there's 12 companies that broadcast in the US. 2 of them have like a white label solution. So you really the sort of the consumer experience is there's thousands of these marketplaces, but it's really 12 companies that are managing that experience. And so FlipSeats broadcasts them to all of those marketplaces. And then once you make your sale, it pulls them back, so you're not doing a double sale and getting to charge double on those. So our customers are able to sell for more. We don't charge any more than the traditional marketplaces do because we do such large volume. So it's a really good solution. I'm a customer myself. I love it. I have Cubs season tickets. I have Blackhawks season tickets. So I'm excited to talk to you about that and just sports in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I was honestly, the Cubs are kind of hurting my feelings right now because we're talking to you right after that crosstown, and it was bad news for the White Sox, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah. As the resident White Sox fans of this show, we definitely feel the pain this year. But overall, what was the landscape of that like for your weekend? I mean, that had to be a big money weekend for you guys overall, especially in the city.
It does really well. Yeah. The key to baseball and Cubs and really most sports games outside of like 5 or 10% that are kind of hard to predict is like the earlier you can move your tickets, the better. It's like not even a depreciating asset. It's like an exploding asset, right? Like after the second inning, the thing's worth nothing. So the Cubs Sox tickets on our platform went pretty early, like right at season release. Like sophisticated sellers sort of know to move those tickets and price at the bottom of the early market as opposed to waiting until the very end and trying to sell. I went to the Friday game, and I will say your Sox, it's going to be another season.
Yes.
But the middle of the lineup, you can see some of those guys coming through. Palacios is nice. They've got some nice bats finally. Which is exciting.
There's a little shimmer in sight, I would say. Last year was just complete, like, we're in hell. Like, it was purgatory. This year, I think we got a couple things coming into play, but whatever it may be.
So let me ask you guys, turn it on you. As Sox fans, are you able to enjoy the PCA and the Cubs? Is it just like more painful? Yeah.
We are more so baseball fans than we are anything on this podcast. That is really like our first love overall. To give you an idea, like we've done some big segments for baseball. We've done a lot of, in-person tours of just like different ball fields as we go together. And then not only that, but a portion of the last interview we did will be Driveline Baseball out here in Scottsdale, which we got the opportunity to do a tour with their hitting coaches and meet some MLB umpires who are now retired. Just like really fascinating things about the data of the game, exit velo. Not only that, but guys who are trying to really pop off this year, and PCA is definitely doing that. I think his gambling odds, for being an MVP went from, 1,000 to 1 to now 40 to 1 in the matter of the first 60 days of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of in the last decade, who's been as electric to watch. For the Cubs, the irony is it's probably Javi, who he was traded for straight up.
Yeah.
But on that team to have a guy like that, it's been really exciting.
Yeah. Now, I say this too, when they won the World Series, I was rooting for them over the Guardians. The Guardians are in the White Sox division. I didn't want our division to win, so I actually did root for the Cubs in that series. Can't lie about that.
Yeah, that was my baseball nightmare. But at the end of the day, I really felt as if, of all teams, of course, I was leaning, half of my family are Cub fans. Wife is a Cub fan. So of course you lean that way. But that and grouping of talent, what was just so insane, and we talk about this a lot, is the rise and fall of so many guys who you thought were going to be generational, like a Chris Bryant, like an Addison Russell, and those guys who you thought were never going to have their fall from grace kind of did. And then guys like Schwarber, who is a coach of a one-trick pony.
Talk about MVP candidate, though. He's an MVP candidate this year. He could win it this year.
Right. So it's truly a situation where, we love baseball, and what PCA is doing right now. Yeah. To a Cubs perspective, I could see why you say Javi, but baseball overall, and this might be a big plug, and Cub fans will love me for this one, but Juan Soto, if you look at the similarities.
Except he's faster.
Wow.
He's faster and better defensively. You have a real thing. And not only that, his mom was in the movie Little Big League. So
he seems to want to play baseball too, which is something Juan Soto, we're not sure if he actually wants to play.
The Anthony Rendones of the world.
Yeah.
So
actually, I have if you guys are cool, that I have a crazy 2016 World Series anecdote.
Please.
Love it.
My friends who listen to this back will skewer me for this because it's one of my favorite stories. But my best friend in high school is a guy by the name of Jason Kipnis. So he was a second baseman on the Indians.
He's the man. I know.
And a White Sox destroyer.
Yeah, murderer.
Totally. Yeah. I have a couple stories about that too. But anyways, he batted third. I batted fourth at Glenbrook North. I was just missing talent, work ethic,
drive. Yeah.
Speed. Basically, I was missing everything that you needed to make it. But when you're growing up, everyone thinks their best player is going to go pro, because I was going pro, obviously. So he was.
Sure.
But then he actually did out of the Midwest, which was pretty crazy. So anyways, I was me and my four buddies were the only Cubs fans in the world that I've met that were at Game 7 cheering for the Indians. I had a wristband that I was going to be on the field if that ball went fair. in the ninth inning, we would have been like sort of on the field celebrating with the team. So it took me several years to sort of get back into my Cubs groove. Guys,
that's
like
an
Javi,
impossible
like,
situation. It's an impossible situation to be put in. That sucks.
Totally. Yeah. It was crazy. I mean, I was very fortunate. Like we were in Jason's box with his family. So it was like one of the cooler sports experiences of my life. But yeah, you almost didn't know until the first pitch, like how you were going to feel. And then really what it came down to, it's like, none of these Cubs guys care about like my family or, how my job's going. So it wasn't easy. It was easy once we got there, but it was like crazy getting to Cleveland. And
you have to root for your boy, man. You got to root for your boy regardless. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We respect the hell out of that. That's awesome. That's really cool. And yeah, we are familiar with Jason Kipnis, like we stated, just a White Sox destroyer. We saw him too much, it felt like.
I would like to, schedule release just happened. They announced it at the draft. They announced the announcement at the draft, and then announced
of the announcement.
And this is a big day for you guys, assumingly, right?
Definitely, yeah. Who's better at the NFL than making like everything a spectacle?
Yeah.
It is a huge. Yeah, I pulled up some stats that some of the sort of interesting insights that I thought we could chat about. But yeah, it's definitely this is like one of the bigger moments for season ticket sellers. Funny enough, there's a lot of activity this year and sort of growing activity where people are buying the games without dates. So like season ticket sellers will actually go and list the games as TBD dates.
Wow.
But like if you know you're going to Vegas for the Bears trip and you don't care when it is, like you can get a little bit of a discount. So some people just like sort of commit to it and
wait, is that like pre-release date or is that like possible flexing?
Pre-release date, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like we saw a few sales go through for teams that even before the releases happen. It's usually in markets like Vegas or the Rams, like really sort of good vacation destinations.
Yeah.
And then it's like your typical winter, your Pittsburgh fans, your Green Bay fans, Bears fans. Anyway, in any event, I thought that was fascinating that like as a consumer, I would never sort of make that. That choice.
I need a day, man. I need to know the exact day I'm going to something before I buy any tickets for sure.
Well, then again, it does lean to that market of you don't really care when you go there. And I mean, let's face it, in the fall, chances are if you throw a dart, you'll have a little bit better weather than, Chicago when you go to Vegas. So it's not a terrible thought process if you're looking to catch that deal and planning around it. But then again, to Vince's point, I don't know. My millennial anxiety might get the best of me if I didn't have like a hotel booked, rental car done. Like, I don't know if I could do that unless you have family or another house, which is a whole other level.
Yeah.
Now,
I think there's probably some hedging too. Like there's definitely, we see this a lot at the schedule release, like the Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night games have like a sort of 10 to 30% increase. Which is funny as a fan, I actually prefer the Sunday afternoon tailgate situation. Like the Sunday night's tough to get home. But I think some people are sort of like hedging, like they think this might be a Sunday night or it might be a Monday night. If I buy now, I'll do better than I would have had I waited. So there's all this game theory that happens when you're buying and selling.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to a Monday night, I feel like. That would kind of suck. Like it's middle of the week by the time you get home.
The spectacle of prime time. But then again, going to a Bears game and a primetime game, I don't know if I'd touch
that.
L.
It's an auto L, dude. That's all that is, unfortunately.
Why is that so true?
Yeah. One of these days.
It is sad. Now, in your mind, when you did see the schedule release for the first time and how this week is playing out, like what was some of your biggest takeaways, Matt?
Well, I think one of the interesting patterns that have arisen since FlipSeats came online is the how quickly winning in the NFL matters. The Lions are now coming up on sort of 3 really productive seasons where they're competitive, and it's the highest average ticket price in the NFL across their entire slate. So just like winning solves all, both in the business side of football and on the sports side of football. I thought that was really fascinating.
You think that's got something to do with like they were really bad for a very long time? And people are like, I'm gonna buy tickets when they're good again. Like in my mind, I'm like, if the White Sox are good in 4 years, I'm gonna go to so many games. But right now, I'm just not gonna go. There's no reason for me to go. You know?
Totally. I think there's definitely like an exhaust level that happens. Yeah, and I think like momentum matters too, because like in previous seasons, Kansas City held the spot, but now they've been so good for so long. They're coming up on, I don't know what you'd call the dynasty, 6-7 years of Mahomes just like dominating.
I think AFC Championship the last 7 years.
Yeah, it's like
something like that. Right.
Crazy. But like right behind Detroit is the Eagles. That makes perfect sense. Diehard fan base, live and die Eagles. So if the Eagles rattle off 6 more, are they going to stay at that spot?
Probably. Maybe. Let's be honest. Yeah. it's Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philly's its own beast for sure.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I would tell your listeners who have season tickets, like if it's NFL or honestly any of the majors, sell early, be aggressive, be the sort of best priced in your comps early in the sale release, but mostly because it's like cash in hand is great, but you're gonna, outside of like some very uncommon prospect coming up or a playoff outcome that is going to be there, like 90% of the time the market sort of goes straight down to the right. And then maybe with like a slight uptick if there's like a true squeeze in a smaller stadium.
That's interesting. I mean, that does make sense too. I mean, from the initially, obviously, like I sold my ticket. I don't have to worry about this anymore, which is probably nice. But then also, like for instance, like the Bears are playing the Commanders seemingly every year now. That's just how they're going to do it forever. And it's kind of become like a pseudo rivalry with the whole quarterback situation. It's like some things you can perceive, like this is how it's going to happen. And some things you have no clue. Like there is a possibility at the end of the year that there's like a pre-playoff matchup that you would have never thought about in week 1. So it's kind of like gambling in a way. You're like, well, when do I get rid of them? Like, how do I set this price properly? And I guess you guys are helping out with that because it's probably hard for the seller to do that all the time.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about the app. Well, it's my favorite feature for sure. I think as fans of the team, we have a clear perspective on like what games will be doing well, what won't. But there's externalities that are happening that like unless you're like in front of your machine all the time and like doing the updates, we use like a portion of automation where we're just like studying the market. We're like ingesting all of what the inventory looks like and then setting offsets on that. But we have like humans who've been doing this for, decades. Some of them used to work for brokers. Some of them work for teams. So they're able to like really sort of dive in and make informed decisions on like what's the right time to sell for this game, which is usually right away. And then like, how aggressive can we get with that? So yeah, it's definitely my favorite feature of the platform.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
Matt, are there specific markets in particular that to some people may seem smaller that outperform maybe like a larger market? So just that feral fan base, of course, my mind goes Green Bay, things like that. But are there other markets that you've identified in your data analytics that you guys receive that I think to our listeners might be interesting? You just be like, oh yeah, you wouldn't think that this place on the map actually has some bigger outperforming structure than, a bigger city like a Dallas or, even New York, for example.
Yeah, this will make perfect sense if you're a football fan. If you're sort of like an outside football fan, it would be surprising, but the Bills continually do well. That's like one very, very high on my list to go to a Bills game.
You ever done it?
But yeah, I haven't. No,
I want to so bad.
I know. Maybe we'll find some tickets this year.
Put me through a table. I'm ready to go.
I was just about to say, Matt, do you want to get put through a table?
That's a good question. How many beers in am I? How many wings and beers? Yeah.
It's probably a January game, probably a December game. We're probably 4 or 5 at least. We're going at that point.
Yeah.
I'm not really a no guy, so I don't know if the timing's right. I'm probably going through.
Peer pressure.
We'll get along through that. Eat a pizza out of a cabinet. To kind of lean into week one, I thought that there was an aggressive amount of interdivision matchups, big matchups to kick off the season, more so than any other time. I mean, do you guys see this as another operation standpoint, a big opportunity to have those, week one games being so large, or would you think that's necessarily not necessarily an advantage to either season ticket holders or the common day fan?
There's definitely a bump with in-season matchups, in division matchups. You do see 5 to 15% increase relative to the non-division matchups. Game one is sort of an outlier, though. Everyone's 0-0. Your team had the best offseason. As a Bears fan, again,
every team, but especially us. Yep.
We win the offseason
every time.
Yeah. So I actually, from a pure ticket sale perspective, I actually think en masse it's not impactful because you would have gotten that 1 week bump. You would have also gotten the in-division bump in a later game that you might have sort of needed that. That being said, it's all on the margins at that point. Once the schedule's released, if you want to see Jaden Daniels or if you want to see a great matchup or if you just want to get to a game, it all sort of comes out in the wash for the most part.
Sure.
And that's for most markets. We see huge swings for the Vegas Raiders, based on how well the traveling team performs. Are they coming to games? And do they have those marquee athletes that are representing the league? This year's a pretty good home schedule for them. So Vegas Raiders season ticket holders are going to do really well. They also have 9 games. Next year, you don't know until they get seeded, but it won't nearly be as productive as it was this year.
Well, I guess it depends on the division that they're playing too, right? If they're going to play a specific NFC division or AFC division or whatever it may be, that's really all it's got to rely on. How is it going to end up working out?
Yeah, and it's really it's the quarterbacks and
100%. What are you saying? Geno Smith's the draw this year, man. Come on.
Yeah, dump offs.
Yeah.
Dump off this. Yeah.
Hey, to the Ashton Genty though, that's a selling point right there. It's a lot of dump offs to him.
A lot.
Where did you guys stand on that running back value where you got drafted? Did you want him on your squad or yeah?
It was high. I think during our whole draft thing, we were back and forth on are we convinced that this is a good move? Because everybody thought the Bears were going to take it. Clearly a smokescreen. Clearly. But also he played at Boise. It wasn't like he's an SEC running back. It's not like he's a Big Ten running back. He's going to have to go against NFL-sized guys now. We'll see how it ends up working, but he hasn't done anything to show me that he's not going to be amazing. Yeah. And value-wise, that is high, but if he's really good, then maybe it's good.
Historically, in my opinion, the value you can get running backs in the middle rounds, there is 0 point in drafting them in the first round, especially if you're a team like the Raiders or the Bears. We talked ad nauseum on that talk. It seems like every 4 to 5 years, there's a grouping of running backs that go earlier than anticipated. And this was one of those 4 to 5 in my eyes, because our Marion Hampton went in the back half of the first round of the Chargers, which was kind of a big surprise. But then again, he also played in bigger games against ACC talent and not, the Mountain West. So we'll see how it all plays. I think the talent is there. I think overall he has what it takes to be a great NFL player, but can they protect Geno and the dump off king if he gets, smoked out? But then again, Pete Carroll, he loves to run the football unless, it's the 1 yard line against the Patriots and you need to get Russell Wilson his flowers.
Oh my God. Worst decision ever, man. Worst decision ever. I would like to, so we talked about it last week a little bit, right when this came out. There are so many international games this year. And it seems like they're going to be moving it to one every week in like the near future. I would not be surprised if we end up seeing that eventually. Have you seen, like, I know you sent us some stuff on this. Have you seen, like, one, do season ticket holders get tickets to those? And then two, have you seen like a difference in ticket sales with those versus obviously an at-home game?
Yeah, so each of the teams handle it a bit different, but it is not in your standard package.
Okay.
Each team usually gets a pretty large allotment, and they you could sort of build the hierarchy in your mind. It like starts with the executives, how many do you want? It goes down to the players, so eventually it trickles down to season ticket holders, and it behooves them to take whatever advantage they can get and get those seats. Some of the early average ticket prices are in the four figures for some of these games. Spain is actually that game has performed the best so far. And I think
over Germany.
Over Germany, Spain has
the
highest ATP. It's early, so we'll see how it shakes out. Germany has had games before. I think this is the first year we've been.
It is first Spanish one, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, those games, like if you sort of rank out all of the games across the season, the only sort of non-international game in the top 10 is Eagles Cowboys. The rest of there's not. Actually, I have to double check that math, but it's the top few are all international games for average ticket price.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the international games personally, because it's like, who in Spain cares about American football that much? But clearly they do. Or people are just flying to Spain and spending, over $1,000 on a ticket because it gives them an opportunity to go to Spain. It's the same concept as the Vegas thing. I get to go to Europe now and I get to go watch football. Like, there's a good excuse for me to do it, I guess.
Yeah. I have like mixed opinions on it too. Like, I love traveling.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to Spain, I'm not in like the football mind space.
Go to a Barcelona game, man. That's what I would want to do.
Yeah. I'd love to watch their football or eat tapas and roll me back to my Airbnb. Like,
right.
I don't know if like that's exactly, but I don't know. Also, if it presented the opportunity, it'd be an interesting sort of cultural
Yeah, I
experience.
guess I would probably go. Like, if someone's like, hey, do you want to go to this? I'd be like, yeah. But that wouldn't be the reason I would plan one, I suppose, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's probably easier to get to a game in Spain than it is to get to Soldier Field from.
Dude, you're telling me. I was seeing Beyonce stuff today, and it was like everybody was just like limping in their Canadian tuxedos trying to get into Soldier Field for that during a dust storm that we just had. So who would have thought?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the same day as the dust storm?
Oh, she was all weekend, and the dust storm happened on Beyonce Day. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. In so many ways. That's kind of great.
And the monsoon on Thursday too. I think that delayed Thursday night, so it was all over the place.
100%. Do you guys do concerts and stuff too, or are you guys solely sports?
We don't yet. It's on the roadmap.
Okay.
There are circumstances where this is like a little behind the scenes, but there are circumstances where if a team uses Ticketmaster as their rights holder, there are concerts that sort of show up in the same application.
Got it.
And if they come into that sort of back end, we can do concerts, but it's not super reliable. It's like depends on the package that you got and what the team decided. So we don't market it, but occasionally there are folks who have season tickets that will do some concerts on the platform.
It's interesting too. I don't know how this generally works, but if you're buying season tickets and they go international, or if you're doing it for years and like Beyonce is playing there and you have a box or you have a specific seat, like, do they offer that for you at a discount? Can you get that and then sell that off? Like, I assume sometimes they do that.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, speak just from personal experience. Like, the Cubs are really good about this. Wrigley has great summer concerts.
Oh yeah.
Although we're getting old now, so like the guys that are coming in now, I don't sort of know the.
Dude, I went to Billy Joel at Wrigley, so you're speaking my language.
There you go.
That was a great show.
So, actually, this year there's a K-pop band called A Tease.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have one of their songs saved. I'm still in my
Okay,
20s.
okay.
I'm still in my 20s for 2.5 weeks right now, so I'm holding on for dear life.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yes.
If you're into K-pop, yeah, man, I'll probably
I'm
be calling
not.
you.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
That was just the one song I got.
Yeah. But just because I have access to some of this information, I was like, well, I got to just do my diligence.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the hottest tickets that
They're
Chicago just had.
huge, man. They're so famous.
It was crazy. Yeah. They did it performed incredibly well for anyone that took advantage of the pre-sale that season ticket holders got.
Yeah. Okay. So last couple things here. Clearly there's bigger teams and there's smaller teams with this. You guys go across the whole nation, I assume. What have you kind of seen as like we're looking at average ticket prices. You see the Lions are really high. You can make an assumption they're like a bottom 5 in capacity team. Like you look at Allegiant, average get-in is $123. Like what are some big takeaways you've seen at specific stadiums, whether it be Dallas or something like that you'd kind of want to share with people? Maybe strategic moves for people trying to get tickets.
Yeah. So SoFi, if you're trying to make like a weekend out of something, getting a Rams or a Chargers game, if you're just trying to get in the stadium, that's actually that LA trip is actually a really good one. The average ticket price and then the get-in is like pretty reasonable for.
How is that possible? It's mind blowing to me. You sent that to us. Yeah. I'm like, LA is the cheapest way to get into a stadium.
Yeah, well, I think the Rams are more expensive. The Chargers just have no home fan base.
Yeah.
So it's like both. I think both probably are more away. My guess is in many Chargers games, you're looking at like 75 to 80%. Are away. So, if you're in a market that travels, you're probably not going to experience any discount. But if you're just sort of good to go to any game, and that stadium's beautiful. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to go there.
It looks like it. Never been. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good one.
I hope the Bears take a page out of that book. That would be great.
Yeah. What do we think? What if you guys is it like done deal? We're going to Arlington Heights.
I mean, check in next week and there's going to be a new report on it. That's kind of how I feel. It's like we're going to Naperville. They're going to move them somewhere. Like it's just every day it's different. I can't even figure it out anymore. I'm just going to wait until it's announced.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I think it just makes too much sense for them to own it, even if they're going to sell the team. Now apparently there's rumors that like half the family wants to sell, half doesn't, and they're debating it. They gotta start the stadium, I think.
At some point, yeah, we watched Hard Knocks and they were talking about the difference between the chairs and the boxes. And you're like, you don't even have a place you're building it yet. Let's do that first. Let's figure out where we're gonna do it first, man. That's like designing a t-shirt before you have cotton. It doesn't make any sense to me. So Dallas, the hardest place to get a ticket probably, besides maybe like Vegas.
Dallas is tough, yeah. Jerry World still performs really well. That team travel, they're a national team too. So you have away fans who are actually not away. They're diehard Cowboys fans.
Sure.
And they're coming there for their Mecca, if you will.
Yeah, it's the Yankees. It's the Yankees Dallas Lakers fan that we have going around the world.
Yeah,
right
it is one of those fans. Yeah.
And then we got Patriots, we got Raiders, yeah. And then, so do you see a lot of people that have season tickets are finding that they're making more of a profit on tickets now? Because my biggest thing is like there are quote unquote scalpers or like the people that buy massive amounts of tickets and then sell them out. You guys are more so focused on the single, hey, we have a season ticket package, we got to sell them out now. Is that a competitive advantage now finally where like you don't have to go against these massive companies that are selling off tickets?
Yeah, I think the really nice thing about what we're doing is it's a win-win-win. It's great for the fan, right? Because they have a cleaner experience to sell the games that they don't want to go to. It's better for consumers that don't have season tickets because you're seeing more tickets in the places that you're looking. So you're not able to price check on 12 different apps.
Yeah.
And the teams really like it too. Many of the teams have like preferred relationships with one of the secondary markets, but ultimately their goal, especially in, NFL, NBA, MLB, they care more. They don't care about like winning every dollar from you on the ticket revenue. They want to make sure your butt's in the seat. They're
Beer,
buying the
hot dogs,
you're buying the beer, and the TV experience. Making sure the TV viewing experience is really strong. In an empty stadium, it's subconscious, but you feel it. Like it doesn't feel like a big enough game. So
we're White Sox fans. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You hear a pin drop.
Seen it.
Yeah. So it's like we're really good at making sure that someone's going to be sitting in that seat. And so many of the teams, not all, but many of the teams are very open to this type of relationship. I forgot your question, but
that was basically it. It was just like, as we've been talking, I've been learning more about, honestly, businesses that buy massive amounts of seats and sell them off. It's like you have to focus more on the singular consumer that also buys those, and they can sell them. That's at least competitive. So, yeah, clearly this is an aid. And then also, the teams would rather make money and have people in seats just for people to see it. So, I think you guys are doing awesome stuff. I think that's all we got for you. I do want to give
something
you a chance.
came to my mind.
Oh,
something came to my mind while you guys were going through this that Vince, you're going to have to do your work and your magicking and your editing. But how much of your business and clientele would you say are consumers, and then the groups of season ticket holders who are selling on the app? Would you say it's like 50-50, or is it more so the season ticket holder type?
I actually really appreciate the question. It's something we need to do a better job of messaging on. So we are only sell side. So we intentionally, and this may change over, if we're successful, we might have the right to compete in the sort of core marketplace world, but we are not a marketplace. We're just sort of like the sell side UI and application. And then because we do such large volumes, we have these like good negotiated rates with marketplaces. And so like if you were to go sell on StubHub, you'd pay 10 or 15%. We're paying less than that. And then that's how we make a little bit of money on the transaction. So our whole market is just season ticket holders who are using our app to sell on all the marketplaces.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That's it. That's very interesting. And I think it's going to be a wonderful opportunity to get to see how you guys grow as an independent and what you're doing, Matt. And we thank you for joining us today. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you want to plug anything else before we head off?
Gosh, no, I don't think so. This has been fun. Time flew. You guys, it's a great conversation. If there's any like other events or something you guys want me to talk about, any data or anything, I'd be happy to be a guest anytime. So this was awesome.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you very much for coming on, man. Mike.
Vince.
The NBA playoffs are right here. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. We got to talk about the NBA playoffs.
Very interesting data.
Yeah. No, 100%.
The data plugs were pretty crazy.
You can tell.
Hear like all these different stadiums, like and all the most expensive ticket prices, who buys where.
You can tell one, totally interested us, and two, surprised the hell out of us in a lot of different ways. So, very cool. Thank you again for coming on.
Thanks, man.
But the NBA playoffs are going on right now. If you recall, last week we made a bet that is not going to be figured out by the end of this recording, but will be figured out by the time the recording is posted. Because right now, we got the Timberwolves and we got the Thunder playing right now, and we have 5.5 games. Our line's at 5.5 games, Mike. You took the undo, and I took the OVO. So OKC's up 3-1 right now. Minnesota in OKC trying to extend the series to 6 games. I hope they do. What are your thoughts on this so far? Is this exactly what you expected to happen?
I wasn't expecting them to go to Minneapolis and get absolutely smoked in the first game. That was, or should I say, the third game of their series that they jumped over to Minnesota. They lost by like 35, which was bananas. The final score. No, my bad. They lost by 42.
42,
in game 3, they lost 143 to 101. So they just really
in the whole fourth quarter. It wasn't even a game.
I don't know if they were hungover or what the heck was going on, but they did not travel well that first game. But they made up for it in game 4, where the Thunder did pull out a game 4 victory, 128 to 126, and SGA just went off. Same thing with Hamilton. So they looked really good. Anthony Edwards, man, he just, hate to say it, he needs another piece, and that piece was Cat. And it's not looking that
I
great
don't know.
for him.
Julius Randle has been that guy, but
he's
2
not
nights ago,
Cat's so much more talented. I don't know though, because
Cat was like kind of cheeks last year in crunch time, and Julius Randle's been good in this playoffs until this series, which is the weirdest part. I think what they're really doing is Oklahoma City's got much better defense, obviously. And they can kind of shut down 2 guys. That was the biggest thing. Like, I don't think Karl Anthony Towns would be very successful against this Thunder team either. Like, I don't think that would necessarily be like their ace in the hole. Plus, him and Rudy Gobert were just plugging the post anyway, and that was actually an issue for them. So, like, I like Julius Randle. The thing is with them is, like, they had to trade Cat because Cat was too expensive. And if they wanted to, like, Rudy Gobert redid his deal at the beginning of the year. They could fit Julius Randle in there, but now they're probably going to lose Nickeil Alexander-Walker next year if they can't win this series, which doesn't look like they're going to. So, like, they're in a cap crunch right now because Anthony's got to get paid, obviously. What pisses me off about this series, though, is, like, until the last game, none of these games were competitive. Either the Thunder blew them out or Minnesota wins by 42, and then the last game was a 2-point game, and it was like, finally, something fun's happening.
Yeah, and finally, that was a game you really wanted to watch and pay attention to.
In entirety, yes.
The Thunder are just so much deeper as a team. They have the bench, Lou Dort, Caruso. You have these guys, Hartenstein.
Yeah,
you have the dogs on this team to go the distance. And the nice thing about it is, I mean, minus Caruso, they're all pretty young and they're all in the heart of their prime. So,
and they got the 7th pick this year. Like at some point, they're gonna have to like trade away their guys, but then they're just gonna have other guys on rookie deals that are top 10 picks in the NBA draft. It's like they're in such a spot.
They really figured this whole thing out. And once again, as we discussed it a couple weeks ago, second time they've done this.
If they don't win, then it's all for naught.
Well, no shit, Vince. Now, to look at this series, I stated in the beginning, I didn't think that the Thunder were going to lose it. Now, did I think that they were going to go the full distance? No.
You thought they were going to sweep them initially, and then I was like, I don't know about that. And now it looks like they're about to gentleman sweep them, so who knows?
Well, right. And right now, if you're tuning in, we're recording this on Wednesday night. We will know the outcome of this game by the time recording starts. I'm not going to even predict it because I don't want to put the Maloik on anything. Mm-hmm. Now, what was the bet? What was the bet? Was it
We were at 5.5. No, you were at 5.5. You said, and it was for drinks when you're in Illinois next time. Yeah,
done.
5.5 around the biz, which we end up doing anyway. So it's like barely. It's more like a gentleman's fun bet at the end of the day.
We go round for round, anyways. It's on this podcast. It's easy stuff. I would say this game, if I had to give a prediction, I'm going to say it's going to be another close one.
Okay.
But I think the Thunder close out at home tonight in front of their hometown, go to the finals again, and we'll discuss who they're going to play next. But that's my prediction.
Just for my own sanity, Timberwolves win this game, and then they lose in Game 6.
I don't see them losing.
Well, that's why we're different. That's why we're different. You know, anything can happen.
They're already up 6, but that means nothing right now. So
this is the first quarter. Yeah, it's like this is the NBA playoffs. This is like the biggest lesson is that no lead is safe. Literally doesn't matter what it is. I mean, the Pacers were down 20 twice, and they're 3-1 in the series too. Like, come on.
But you could agree that Anthony Edwards needs another piece. There needs to be something next to him.
Well, clearly, if you're going to go against a juggernaut like this, like they've gotten to the same place 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Dallas beat them. This year, the Thunder look like they're going to beat them. Like, it's like you need something, but there's no room. The bad decision was the Rudy Gobert thing. It's what everybody will say all the time. When they did it, it was stupid in the first place. Cat had a really good game with the Knicks the other day. It was all good. It was like DiVincenzo was a good pickup, but like you just need guys to play properly, and that isn't happening. They're getting close, but no cigar. So yeah, they need another thing, but how are they going to fit that on their roster? And they can't trade Rudy Gobert because who's going to take that contract?
Who even wants him?
No one. That's what I'm saying. And he's got a max deal.
Time. He's monstrous and he rebounds really well, but
he's a defensive.
He's
a beast defensively until he's put into a situation where he has to go against a more athletic guy. Like he can get blown by easily, but he's also a post presence. So it depends on how you want to play in the first place. But you look at Jalen Williams, you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, call him a foul baiter all you want, whatever it's going to be. Like
the best star. Jordan was a foul baiter. Kobe was a foul baiter.
He drives the lane a lot. He also does flop a lot. Like all that happens. So does Jalen Brunson. Like he's a very good player. Obviously, the Thunder now have some experience. Like you forget about it too. Like this is Chet Holmgren's second full season. He was injured his whole rookie year. Like
there's another guy that needs to work on the defensive prowess, and not only that, but again, he could probably put on another 20 pounds in size. Yeah.
But this team goes through and does all this stuff and doesn't win anything. Like when I say the Russell Westbrook, KD, James Harden team, what do you think of? And Serge Ibaka and Steven Adams, what do you think?
I just think a team that was more athletic and young than everybody and could shoot the lights out.
And
when it mattered.
What could have been?
Right. Of course.
That's what a bunch of teams end up being. What could have been, but wasn't. Like you can... If they're not careful, the same thing can happen. So that's all I'm saying. Like you want, even though like you feel like the window's going to be open for a long time, they got to capitalize and win this year. So, and I think it's definitely possible.
I agree. I think it's definitely possible. We will see the outcome of this series and if our gentleman's bet came to fruition. Now,
I will regardless.
Let's jump to the East with the most 90s series of all time.
See, this one's fun as shit. Every game is fun in this one.
Every game is fun, but the Pacers just somehow will it out towards the end, and they've been down some pieces of this series. They've lost one where the Knicks came back like crazy. Yeah. I mean, it was insane. They came back at home to win that series, and
the Pacers did that for 2 games. Like in an alternate universe where like 3 or 4 things don't go in, the Knicks could be up 3-1 in the series. It's that easy.
That's
it's
fair,
like snap of the finger. Like a couple games were a bucket. Like we didn't even. This is after we recorded. Like the Tyrese Halliburton, like triple step back 3-pointer off of the
which
the
wasn't counted as a 3, by the way.
It was counted as a 2, and then they went into overtime. And he did the choke, and you're like, "Oh, you really shouldn't have done that. That's bad juju." But it didn't seem to matter. Like,
didn't work. It didn't matter at that.
Hey, you see that John Halliburton is now permitted to go into the stadium again.
He's not allowed.
No, he is now. They reinstated him.
Oh, okay.
But now he's in a box tomorrow.
Smart.
They're not letting him on
that guy off the court.
They're not
so
letting him courtside this time.
Keep that guy off the
court.
Dude,
the Pacers fucking rock, dude. But they lost Aaron Nesmith. Supposedly he's a game time decision, which means that he's probably just going to play a little hobbled, which is worrisome. The Knicks got to come in and just ball at least the next game. Like,
listen, if Halliburton and Miles Turner show up, they're in good shape.
Yeah, but this is okay. So this is the thing, and I was listening to a bunch of stuff about it because obviously more people are talking about this than the other series because it's more exciting. The Knicks,
even though they're at the same level, which is insane.
Well, I know,
they're
but this
both
one
3-1.
This one's 121, 130. Like that was the biggest difference of any of them. Like 114, 109, 106, 100, 138, 135 overtime. Like those are more fun games to watch than 142 to 101. Like what the fuck was that? Like
I understand.
That's where the interest comes from. But I've been listening to this and it's like they're in a conundrum right now because they have Nemhard, who's playing his ass off. Neesmith is playing his ass off. Tyrese Halliburton, top 10 in the league. Miles Turner's playing his ass off. The Knicks have all the talent in the world, but in crunch time, what do you prefer? Like, do you keep Karl Anthony Towns in there? Because when him and Brunson are on the court, they don't play defense to the level that they need to. But you can put Mitchell Robinson in there, who isn't great at free throws and won't score anything for you. So you're taking away a scoring option. And on the other side of the court, you're essentially playing with 4 guys and Mitchell Robinson. It's like, do you keep Cat in there and did they score on you that way? Or do you keep Mitchell Robinson to play defense and then who knows? And they're all like about to foul out. Like they played 15 different rotations the other day or something like that. Something crazy. Because all of them are about to foul out.
That's the problem in the fourth quarter. You look at Cat, he's already like 3 to 4 deep. And it's like, oh boy, this could be one foul away from fucking around and finding out. And they need him. And the problem, this is always the problem with Tom Thibodeau-led teams. Load management. It doesn't
They played
exist.
They play a shit ton of minutes. But at this point, play a shit ton of minutes. You should now.
Of course. I agree. Now's the time to go. But I don't know if they have the legs. And if you look at them late in games, they start to get blown by the Pacers, who are a far more athletic team.
Yeah.
If you look at them, they are. I mean, Josh Hart, very athletic. That guy would
6'4"
run
power
through a wall
forward,
for
dog.
his game. Yeah. Absolute dog. I love watching him play the game. But man, Halliburton and Miles Turner, they're clearly the best guys. And then you got Pascal Siakam on that team.
Yeah, Siakam, which we always seem to forget about. And then Neesmith and Nemhard just playing their absolute ass off. Did you see the Karl Anthony Towns chest pass from like the key, from the top of the key? You see that video?
It was zesty.
Or he's just like, eh. And the first comment was like, not you being open. I fucking cracked up.
He is
I love him.
I don't know.
I'm a huge fan.
I don't know.
I'm a huge fan.
I don't know any other way to put it. He is just the zestiest guy.
He is.
And he code switches so often. It's so funny.
Oh yeah. Back in
It's
the
like
day
the
when I played
interviews would be
Rucker
like,
Park.
Yeah, Rucker Park, and just want to shout out to all the
And
homies.
then 2 days later, the SEC?
SEC, just like a zesty little bitch.
Just
a zesty little bitch, just out here. Yeah, it's I don't know, whatever.
I love him, big fan.
Whatever.
But it does
live your truth, King.
I find myself rooting for the Knicks in the series. I do.
It's not going to happen, Vince.
It isn't going to happen, but it's just like I
Thunder.
also like the Pacers. Like the thing is I like every single one of these teams for a different thing, but like I just for some reason don't want to see the Thunder win.
You want to know what I love? The fact that 2 small market teams are going to make the finals.
True. Factual.
I love the lore of it all because it goes to show you don't have to be the Knicks. You don't have to be the Bulls. You don't have to be the
Those are 2
biggest,
horrible examples because they've been asked the last like 20 years.
Huge market, but Dallas as well, Miami.
Yeah.
They're not in this
LA
dance right now, right?
That's a big one. Yeah.
I don't know if LA will ever be back to where they were.
Oh my God.
Because I think LeBron's out. Luka is fat and he doesn't seem very interested.
Where's the one
shape.
place where it's easiest to get skinny?
LA, but then again, you have to be motivated to do something else. I thought Dallas was going to be the place, but management wanted him out. So
yeah, but Dallas, you got barbecue up the wazoo. I think he comes in next year with a whole different robotic body. That's what I think happens.
If I had to guess, I think big market will be a little bit more relevant next year because I feel like that's what the NBA wants. So I think you might see LA. You'll definitely see New
Giannis
York beating. Giannis has got to go to Dallas. We talked about it on the pod, but
I don't think he is though.
That's no. All right, Vince.
Why wouldn't they take Cooper Flag, dude? Why wouldn't they take Cooper Flag?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, does Cooper Flag want to go to Milwaukee? It just
no. Respect. I love Milwaukee, but no, he doesn't want to go there.
I agree. I would not want to go there either. Now, Game 4 was a 130 victory over the Knicks at home. Pacers now Game 5 go back to New York. Your thoughts on this game, Game 5, which will be played tonight, prime time. Your thoughts?
I think the Knicks win this game. They have to go down swinging, and they're probably going to put all of their effort into this one, and then Game 6, it's over.
So you're thinking Game 6 back in Indiana, it's over.
Yeah. I think the Knicks,
I'm
they literally drive their car until gas is pumping, and then they're stuck on the road in Game 6.
going to say Thibodeau team 7-game series.
They win 2 in a row.
I think so.
Whoa. And then they lose in
somehow
New York?
Find a way to Patrick Ewing lose at home and just it's over.
Shit. What a storyline. That'd be crazy.
I mean, it's not out of bounds.
It's not like it's never happened.
The way this game is going, the Timberwolves, at least on the West, they need to make a run in the second half. Looking at the way this is trending.
Yeah.
Going to be something. I love the final. I love playoff basketball in general.
I know. I actually don't like the finals because I prefer it like when it's 2 series or 3 series. So like once one of them's a stinker, you can just go to the other one. You can like that, you know?
That's fair. That's fair.
If you go to the finals and it's Pacers Thunder and it's just a blowout every game, you're gonna be like, But Shea versus Halliburton will be fun. But it hasn't happened yet. We'll see what happens.
Hasn't happened yet. You got our predictions by next week. We will have our
It'll be the finals by next week.
Actually, game 1 will be next week by the time we're recording the podcast. So check in. All right. Well, there is our predictions and our gentleman's bet. We'll see how it all plays out. But Mike is trending. I'm trending right now in the right direction. Just gonna
sorta. It's kind of a toss-up.
Vince, both series are at 3-1. It's not a toss-up.
Why you? No, you took 5 games. Anything? I'm not saying the Thunder aren't gonna win it. You're not. That's not how trending works.
Vince, I'm trending on my path with the West. Like it's most likely
you took 5 games.
Way.
There's a equal opportunity for either team to win tonight. If you took Thunder win and I took Minnesota win, then you're trending. But 5 games, it's even. We're for even. I took the Thunder to win too.
So if in the second half the Thunder are up, am I trending?
Yes. Then sure. That's how it works.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
No leads are safe. We've learned that this year.
And I said Pacers in 6 or 7. So
you said in 7, and then I said Knicks in 7. I think is what we landed on.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who fucking knows?
Trending. All right.
The NHL is also happening right now. It's
a snoozer.
Dude. It's both leagues are at 3-1, but somehow the NHL seems even more just like this is over. Like the NBA feels like it's over, but the NHL is like Carolina won one game, and it's like the first time in like 18 Eastern Conference Final appearances that they've won a game.
Their jerseys are so clean.
They're sick, but we're getting a rematch. Like Dallas can't touch Edmonton. Edmonton does lose. Yeah, Hyman. I was gonna say every time I read his name, I'm like, that is his name? Hyman's out for the Oilers. It doesn't seem to matter. We're gonna get a rematch, and all I can really think about is I need Edmonton to win this, dude. I just really do. I cannot have Florida winning another one. I'm be so sick of it.
I hope Edmonton wins just solely based off of Connor McDavid getting his ring.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
really all I want. That's all I want for him.
Yeah. Florida's such a good team, too. It's just so dumb.
Yeah, they're so stacked, and I don't
care about the Panthers.
But then again, I really want McDavid just to go and get his ring, go off in infamy. As if he gets his ring, he will be one of the best players of his generation, if not the best player of his generation.
He's absolutely the best player in the NHL right now. Absolutely.
Right.
There's no arguing that.
So not saying Dallas is out, not saying Carolina's out, but it's trending in a way that
they're
now
out.
You look at this. The finals are going to be next week as well. So now you got the NBA and NHL competing against each other. I'd love we should look at the ratings for that next week. By the way,
I already tell you what it is.
What is it?
The NBA is going to outdo them.
Most likely. That's usually the case. I mean, there's a far more specific group for that hockey.
Unless it was a massive, like, if it was Pacers and Thunder and then like the Rangers and the Kings were playing or something like that, then that would happen.
Right.
Or like the Blackhawks in like another massive market. But if it's Florida versus Edmonton, it's like Miami and Edmonton versus Oklahoma City and Indiana. It's like the weirdest combination. They're probably both not going to get great over like other years, but still. As the rematch is concerned, one, if there's a rematch, you always want to see the other guy win one. Similar to how it was like the Warriors versus the Cavaliers. Like, I need Edmonton to win this one. And then, like, if a rematch happens again, it would suck again next year. But then it's like, then it's like mano a mano, whoever's one of them's the best team, whoever wins this one. Like, at least you could make up that storyline. But if it's like Edmonton goes and loses to Florida again, it's like the Jazz and the Bulls. And it's like, whatever. They're just never going to beat them.
It feels like Edmonton's year. It also feels a lot
they lost Hyman, though, and that sucks. Like, that's a big loss.
Yeah, but hockey, these guys come back. And they'll play through most. So
we'll see.
Just depends on the injury.
I think he's out for the rest of the season. If I'm not mistaken, I gotta check. Likely to miss the rest of the playoffs is what they said.
Well, that could be something. But then again, I mean, you do have some really good talent on that roster for Edmonton. So if they can complete with Florida, that's You're in this series. It's not over till the fat lady sings. So,
correct.
That is that.
Hey, now, Carolina's up two goals right now, though, at the end of the first. So, still
not saying this. Both series are over. There could be a surprise.
Feels
by
like it's over.
Dallas.
But still life right now.
Still life in both teams. Time will tell. Maybe injuries help the Stars come back.
Could be.
It's gonna be a series to watch, Vince. But they both kind of seem locked up. All what's so crazy right now between the NBA and NHL, every series is 3-1.
That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, it's like none of them have any parity. So I'm just like, all right,
there's no parity in the playoffs right now, which is unfortunate. But
if two of the series, one in the NHL and one in the NBA, both of them end up flipping, then it would be a story for the ages. So who knows? Let's root for that. Two series completely flip.
I'm down to flip. I think the Knicks have the biggest opportunity to flip.
I agree. I don't think the Timberwolves beat the Thunder.
If I had to throw a dart and then potentially, Dallas, just with Hyman being out.
I don't know. Carolina's got 2 goals. Watch out.
What period?
End of the first.
Okay, got 2 more periods of hockey left. That's a dangerous score. Right. Well, we would be remiss, Vince, if I didn't bring up the fact that Mike was at the WCC or Western Conference.
Yeah. Everybody was talking about that.
Yes.
No.
Nobody was talking about it.
But please continue.
I want to call out the fact that St. Mary's baseball in Southern California, and University of San Diego had a battle.
Yeah.
And Adrian Beltre's son plays for San Diego, which is pretty cool. So got the opportunity to see that in Las Vegas. Would be remiss if I didn't bring it up.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then you're like, put it on. And I was like, how? Because I'm like, what the hell is this even on?
ESPN 8,
it was
the
on
Ocho.
ESPN Plus, and it was a fucking game, dude. We were extra innings. 8-inning 2-out or 8-run 2-out rally to tie it up in the 7th, right? Or something like that. Like, it was crazy.
8-run 2-out rally, bottom of the 7th by University of San Diego. They were down to St. Mary's. This was game 1 of a doubleheader. That if St. Mary's won, it was over because they were the lower seed. So if they won the game, because they both had the same record going into it, they said, all right, we're going to make this a doubleheader. And the best man wins. San Diego wins. Okay. That means they're going to play the second game, which San Diego wound up winning in the 14th inning with a 3-run walk-off home run.
14 innings, 3-run walk-off, and they're like, all right, get back in the dugout. Final another one.
Final score was 16-13 of game 1. And then they waited another 54 minutes and played another one.
That's crazy. It's too much.
For the love of the game.
That's too much.
Insane. So what that means is St. Mary's won their bid for the Western Conference Championship, or whatever they want to call it. It's the WAC or WCC.
Yeah.
To play and get their bid into the College World Series. So now they get their opportunity to play in the tournament, and we'll see how far they go.
Good luck. That's a tough tournament.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. But as always, people, we appreciate you joining us week after week. We hope you enjoyed that interview. Be sure to look out for that. Be sure you check out FlipSeats if you're a season ticket holder. They may just be a new partner of the podcast, and we look forward to seeing you week after week. If you haven't yet, share it to a friend. Share it to a sibling. If you got a sibling, maybe they got a niece or a nephew. Share it with them. Today was a little bit more PC than most, so just be mindful of the language. And as always,
Stefon Diggs, dude. Come on. That wasn't
as
easy.
always, we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, you know. Jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah, you know.